We're constantly bombarded online with those perfect Coachella vibes, right? The dream vacation, first class tickets, the amazing experiences, the highlight reels that look incredible. But let's be real, behind the filtered photos, there's a growing, nagging feeling, maybe even debt regret. Is that aspirational lifestyle leading to financial stress? Listen, if you feel clueless sometimes about how to balance it all and manage your money, you are not alone. A recent survey showed that only 4% of people could ace a 7 question financial literacy quiz. Financial literacy is at an all time low. But guess who got a 7 out of 7? You are in good hands. For those of you who are new here, my name is Stephanie, and I'm a life and mindset coach who helps ambitious women like you create a life that you actually love. And yes, that absolutely includes balancing enjoyment with financial freedom and security, avoiding that potential debt regret. I'm a former CPA who attended a top business school, but this isn't formal financial advice. This is the real talk, the big sister advice that I wish someone had given me and what I would tell my own kids. I truly believe that knowledge is power. If you knew how compounding interest worked on things that you can't pay off immediately, would that have led you to make a different choice? I think so. If you knew that you would be paying 20 to 30% interest, meaning hundreds or thousands extra, when you swipe that credit card and don't pay it off when it's due, would you really grab that Stanley Cup in yet another color or that giant Shein haul just to chase a fleeting vibe? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of chasing those vibes and potential regret, I got sucked into TikTok and Instagram and saw one girl who shared her massive Coachella trip. I mean, I was shocked. She flew from Singapore, dropping over $10,000 on Coachella. Now, I understand that everyone makes their own choices and we all have different values. And maybe she had some of that planned and saved, or she has some crazy wealth. But here's the thing, we only see the amazing Coachella vibes versus the real possibility of significant debt regret when our spending gets out of hand without having financial awareness. So, as someone who's been to Coachella before, I wouldn't spend $10,000 on it, but that's just me. Hit that like and subscribe button if you agree. I'm curious. If you're watching this and you're currently carrying debt, please hear me. Do not feel bad. You did the best that you could with the knowledge that you had at the time. It is absolutely not too late to turn things around. Tomorrow's always a new day. And after this video, you'll be ready to tackle your finances. So in today's video, we're breaking down the absolute essentials to help you understand money better and avoid these common debt traps. We're covering credit and loans. What are they really? Debt and interest rates, why they matter so much. Compounding interest, the hidden force, good and bad. And what I would tell younger Stephanie, hot tips and financial rules to live by. Let's start with credit. The word credit gets thrown around a lot. Here are the main ways you'll hear it. Credit, basically someone's trust in your ability to pay back borrowed money. If the lender deems you as low risk or credit worthy, they will extend a higher credit to you, aka lend you more money. If they find you risky, or aka you won't pay them back, they will give you a lower credit, less money. Credit score. Think of this as your financial GPA. It tells lenders how risky it is to lend to you. A low score makes loans, credit cards, and even renting harder. Do you know what your credit score is? Feel free to share in the comments if you feel comfortable. Line of credit. Imagine a flexible loan account. A bank gives you a limit, say $25,000, and you use $5,000 of that to put a down payment for a car. You pay it back immediately, and your available credit goes back up. So usually it has a lower interest than credit cards. A credit card is similar to a line of credit. It's super convenient for quick purchases. But, and this is crucial, credit card interest rates are often way higher, like 20 to 30%. So definitely not the same thing. Now, a loan, this is borrowing a specific amount for a specific purpose. Think car, house, school. With a set repayment plan, including interest, you get the lump sum up front. Moving on to debt. Debt is simple as that, money you owe someone. Now, interest rates. Here's where people get confused. Interest rates is the cost of borrowing money. Like my dad always said, nothing in life is free. And borrowing money definitely isn't. So basically, a lower interest rate equals good. A higher interest rate equals costly. So that means that you would pay more interest over time. Think about current mortgage rates. This is why buying a home right now is way more expensive because interest rates are up. So as of this week, I think mortgage rates are around 6.82 for a 30-year mortgage. Now, typically you see the number and then you see the letters APR, which stands for annual percentage rate. An APR typically includes interest and fees, giving you a standardized way to compare loan costs. And bonus tip, there's something called fixed APR, which means that it stays the same through the life of your loan, or a variable APR, which most credit cards are, and that changes over time. Okay, listen up. This is critical. I want you to learn how compounding interest works. Compounding interest can make you wealthy in investments or keep you trapped and buried under debt. It's interest that's calculated not just on your original loan, but on the accumulated interest too. Let's look at John and Jane. Both owe $2,000 at 20% APR. John pays the minimum, $60 a month. You would think $2,000 divided by $60 equals 33 months, only 2.5 years of paying this back. Wrong. We didn't take into account compounding interest. It could take him over 15 years and cost him over $2,200 in interest, more than he actually borrowed. However, take a look at Jane. Jane pays just $10 extra a month. She is debt-free in 7.5 years and pays only $1,276 in interest. See the difference? That extra $10 saved Jane years and almost $1,000. Compounding interest is incredibly powerful. Amazing for your investments, which is why experts always say to start younger because time is your friend. However, compounding interest can be devastating when you have high interest debt. If this example just blew your mind or made something click, hit that subscribe and notification. I share practical financial content like this every week to help you build wealth and avoid these traps. So let's get rich together. So how do we tackle existing debt and stay out of the trap? Number 1, get your mindset right. This is crucial. So many of us feel shame or embarrassment. We want to acknowledge those feelings, let it out, write down how debt makes you feel. Often it reflects our deeper beliefs, like credit card debt means I'm bad with money. When you see debt as a tool, debt can be reframed as good or bad. For me, student loans felt different. It was an investment in my future. I wouldn't have been able to attend college without student loans, so I appreciate that I was able to use debt as a tool to achieve one of my goals. So what are your big feelings about debt? Typically, if we don't address our feelings of shame and embarrassment with debt, it can lead us even further into debt because when we feel embarrassed or ashamed, the last thing we want to do is look at our finances and come up with a game plan. So what typically happens is you avoid it, you don't look at your numbers, and you might shop more and add to that debt, even though you know better. So we want to address our feelings and see what is driving this debt. Is it the need to keep up with our friends? Is it the need to have the latest, newest things because you see it on social media all the time? So we really want to get down to what is happening for you, the root cause of it all. Because let's be honest, even if you manage to pay off your $5,000 of debt, if you never address what got you there in the first place, you're going to find yourself right back there in the next few months. So we want to pay attention to what feelings are driving our purchases and getting into debt. And also, how is debt making us feel? So that we can get unstuck and move forward and come up with a plan. Number 2, ask questions and keep learning. So if you don't get something, ask. Google it, YouTube it, follow me. Ask reliable sources. Suffering in silence fixes nothing. Use the resources available and start moving the needle. Take control of your financial future and start learning more as much as you can. And number 3, make a plan. Get a piece of paper and we're going to write down all your debts. Write down your lender, and then we're going to write down the amount owed, the interest rate, and the minimum payment due. And get it all on paper or a spreadsheet if you're feeling fancy so that you can see all your numbers. And then we're going to choose a strategy. So we've heard of debt snowball. It's basically paying off the smallest amount first for quick wins and motivation. So this is great for those who are struggling with their mindset and motivation. And then the next strategy would be a debt avalanche. And this is when you pay off the highest interest rate first. And this is my personal favorite because it saves you the most money in the long run. However, do what feels right for you and which one resonates more with your personality and where you're at today. Okay, time for some big sister real talk. Knowing what I know now, this is what I would tell a younger Stephanie. And these are the things that I actually did. So treat your credit card exactly like cash. If the money isn't actually in your bank account to be able to pay it off immediately, do not buy it. I saw so many girls in college, at work, racking up $5,000, $10,000 in credit card debt, trying to keep up with appearances. And that blew my mind. But I'm glad that I found that out because I was getting so discouraged. I was working really hard and scraping by, and yet everyone was getting new outfits, going to brunch, and eating dinner out every night. I always wondered how everyone afforded everything. It's even harder now with the constant pressure, the Amazon hauls, those limited edition Stanley Cups, the endless stream of the Coachella vibes that make you feel like you're missing out, or the need to keep up. But remember, those curated images and reels rarely show the high interest credit card statements or the debt regret that might be happening behind the scenes. So it's crucial to stay grounded in your financial reality and learn to define what you want for your financial future. Is your future filled with Coachella debt and a collection of rainbow colored Stanley Cups and a closet filled of fast fashion? Or does it look like not stressing or worrying about money and building wealth for the future and taking some vacations here and there? Only you can define what you want your financial future to look like. Quick story. The firm I was working for, they offered a $5,000 bonus if you got your CPA license. I passed all 4 exams in 1 month because I needed that bonus to survive in the most expensive city. That money was my lifeline. Without that cushion, I could have easily slipped into credit card debt like my peers. Maybe they had family safety nets. I didn't. And frankly, I didn't want one. I didn't want to put that burden on my parents. I wanted to build my own security. This brings us to a common misconception. So, if you're first gen like me, your parents might have drilled into you credit cards are bad, which for some of us, it is. If you don't know how to use it correctly, it definitely is. So, I highly acknowledge. But here's where they might be mistaken. Sorry, mommy and daddy. A credit card used responsibly, paid off in full every month. In full, I'm talking you bring it back to $0 balance, helps build your credit score. And that gets you better interest rates later for big things like a car purchase or a home purchase. Plus, you have fraud protection built in because a credit card is using the bank's money. If someone steals your credit card information, it's the bank's money on the line first, not yours. Also, many credit cards offer rewards. This is how I travel. I do not pay for hotels. I use my points from my credit cards. However, a debit card is linked directly to your bank account, right? The danger is if you lose it or have it skimmed, a thief could drain your actual bank account. Getting that money back can be a nightmare. So let's just say that you don't want to be in that situation, which is why I don't carry a debit card around in my wallet in case I lose my bag. Ask me how I know. And finally, ask for forgiveness. So, if you accidentally miss a credit card payment or your bank balance is low and the bank hits you up with a fee, call the credit card company or bank and be polite. Explain the situation and ask if they can grant a one-time courtesy waiver for the late fee and potentially prevent it from hitting your credit report, depending on how many late payments you had. You'd be genuinely surprised how often they say yes. It costs you nothing to ask and can save you $30 to $50. So try this the next time you get hit with a fee. So there you have it, the essentials to boost your financial literacy. Understanding these basic concepts is the first steps towards making conscious choices, enjoying life's experiences, and ultimately designing a life that you truly love. If you found this information valuable, please share it with a friend who needs to hear this today. Now, I want to hear from you. Is there anything that you agree with or disagree with? I'm always interested in hearing what everyone thinks. Is that Stanley Cup worth it in that other color? Let me know in the comments. Maybe it is. And if you've been feeling anxious about a possible recession, watch this next video so you can make a game plan.